For Rondo, this is now started to creep into the social media sphere, and it's only going to be ratcheted up if he stays in LA and obviously wins additional titles. But right now, 2 championships, one on either side of this rivalry, and at a point in time was obviously the best point guard in the entire NBA, has a lot of great statistics. And I also want to add NBA Hall of Fame, not as difficult to get into as maybe some other Hall of Fames, because it's not the NBA Hall of Fame, it's the Basketball Hall of Fame, it's collective, on and on and on. Is Rajon Rondo a Hall of Famer?
Let's table that and see how he does the next couple of years with them. He should definitely stay with them. He was their third most important player to me. He was the bridge between LeBron and the rest of the team. So if LeBron was out of the game, or even when LeBron was in, Rondo could handle the ball. And that was the kind of guy that LeBron has been begging for much of his career, that secondary ball handler, a guy to take pressure off him. And to have that guy be Rondo, who's just so great in the big games and in the playoffs, and the fact that he's become a much better three-point shooter, he's become more coachable, he's become better with his teammates. The Rondo in this series is so much different from the Rondo that everybody knew in Boston. It's a big part of my book when he gets himself nearly kicked off the team the day before a big playoff game against LeBron's Miami Heat for throwing that vitamin water bottle at the TV screen during a video session, and just acting, as Paul Pierce said at the time, just so selfishly and only caring about himself. And that Rondo is not this Rondo today. I remember doing an interview somewhere, and Wick Grosbeck, I was doing it with Wick Grosbeck, and Wick said he could see Rondo becoming an NBA coach, and I laughed on camera with him at him. I'm so wrong now. I'm so wrong.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was like, Rondo could never be a coach. He can't get along with anybody, and it's all about Rondo. And now it isn't. Now he gets it. And did you see this on the court after the Lakers won? Rondo went over to LeBron, and you're just kind of reading lips and body language. But I had the strong impression he was thanking LeBron for making this whole thing possible, for sort of giving Rondo this chance to get back on the stage and to show what he could do. And I saw Rondo basically recognizing LeBron as the guy who made it possible for him and thanking him for doing so. That's what I was guessing he was saying, and it had a lot of validity to it. When Rondo was here, he was playing with older guys, and they were counting on Rondo to carry them, and he wasn't up to it. Garnett was old, Paul was old, Ray Allen was old. They needed him as the young legs to do things that they couldn't do and give them a chance, and he wasn't up to it in his head.
Well, there are a couple things to do that. LeBron Rondo had said, whether it was said about him or he said personally, maybe during that back in the old Area 21 show with Garnett, and when the Celtics teammates Pierce and Big Baby, Rondo obviously he didn't say much when he was there. Perk, before he became the media sensation that he is now, all those guys were in that room, and Rondo all but said he hated LeBron. I mean, with every fiber of his being, before they were playing together, obviously, and at that time they still weren't playing together. Back when he was on the other side of the rivalry, or when obviously that's Cleveland, then he goes to Miami and all of that. I mean, he hated LeBron. There's that famous picture that's now circulating again on social media of Rondo taking that picture with a fan who's wearing the "LeBron is a bitch" t-shirt, and he's just pointing at it and smiling. It's that whole how it started and how it's going meme that's floating around on Twitter these days. But it's not just that. The whole thank you for making it possible, getting him onto that stage for himself. I think that, Rondo sort of let some people behind the curtain, during that post-game media session, acknowledging the importance, just how significant it was to him that he was able to have his son in the bubble with him there toward the end, and to be on the court with him and have his son, who's almost 9 years old, experience that and see his dad in that way. Because, he could have heard, I won a championship back before you were born. But, one, he wasn't alive. And two, even if he had been, he would have been so incredibly young, couldn't have, had any sense of what any of that means. And now to have a couple of kids and his son specifically being there to witness it, very clearly just means the world to him.